Hey, beautiful souls.
Welcome to Bitter to Beautiful. I am Coach Charmin D. Energetic, heartfelt, and always keeping it real.
And I'm Coach Lynette, more reserved, tenacious, honest, and a little funny.
Together, we're here to guide you through transforming your bitterness
Into something truly beautiful. Join us on this journey of healing and empowerment.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Bitter to Beautiful. I'm your host, Coach Charmin D, and today we'll be diving into a relatable and sometimes painful topic: navigating different seasons when friendships grow apart. Life changes, personal growth, and new opportunities can sometimes cause distance between friends. And if you're not careful, those changes can plant seeds of bitterness. We're going to unpack how transitioning can affect friendships, why feelings of jealousies or resentment can creep in, and how we can transform those emotions into something positive, like inspirational and motivational for our own personal growth. Now, I'm flying semi solo because my co-host, Coach Lynette, is not here with me, and we will resume our regular podcast format next week. But I have some unexpected guests, special guests. QueKenya and Lashawna, who are my friends. We met at HPD, so my friends from work. Ladies, QueKenya, let's start with you. Tell us something about yourself.
Um, my name is QueKenya. I'm 31. What else about myself? I have a very busy social life, but I like to stay inside. I don't know how that works, but it works. Um, I'm currently dating a beautiful black man. I work at HBD. I've been friends with you guys. How long have we been friends?
Over 5 years.
Oh my God, it's been that long.
Yes, it has been that long.
Oh wow. Well, I would
More
just
like
like
8 years.
I would like to put out this disclaimer that I felt like they put a blanket over me and smothered me. So I was bullied into this group, but I love these girls so much. So I don't regret it. But it was a slow start. Um I don't know what else about myself.
That's good, Q. That's good. You
I
didn't
think
have to
that's
say
pretty
all that,
good.
though. You didn't have to say
Yeah.
all that.
But I love you guys. I love you guys. I promise.
Okay. Lashawna, tell us something about yourself.
Hi, I'm Lashawna. I'm the bubbly one, or the silly one, whichever one you want to go with. I'm a mom of a 10-year-old, well, almost 10-year-old boy. Um, just living and trying to survive New York City, man. I
Mhm.
work at HPD, moving up the ranks as I should be.
No.
Um, and just loving my journey right now, discovering who I am and who God is in my life.
Praise God. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ladies, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to start with our focus scripture, Proverbs 17:17 in the NIV version. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. And basically, what that means is that friendships are meant to be supportive through all seasons, but challenges can arise when life pulls us in different directions. This verse reminds us that true friends remain steadfast even in the midst of change. Remember, some people say friendships is for reasons and seasons. Have you ladies ever heard that before? Friendships are for reason and season. What do you think that would mean? Lashawna, what do you think that means when it says friendships are for reason and seasons?
Well, I have heard saying before, and I do agree with it. Because when you encounter people, some people come into your life for a time, some people come into your lives for a reason, and not all friendships will withstand the test of time. People
Mhm.
grow apart. So
Mm,
that saying is very fitting.
yeah, that's good. What about you, Q?
I agree. Some people are in your lives for a certain amount of time, which is a season. And sometimes when you're going through life or a certain part of your journey, those people that are in your life for that season can help you along the way, or they can teach you a lesson along the way.
Oh, that's real good. That's good. So the second scripture reference is Ecclesiastes 3:1, right in line with exactly what we said from the NLT version. For everything, there is a season, a time for every activity under the heaven. And what it basically says, the season changes, and so do relationships. This verse encourages us to embrace the shifts with grace and the trusting in God's timing and purpose. So exactly what you ladies said. Yes, friendships are for reason and seasons. Some people come in your life in a time in your life when you they need to be there, or you need them to be there, or for many different reasons. But the key is that even when it's time to shift, or it's time to change, we just trust in God and his time and his purpose for it. Because again, God does all things well. So he's a very purposeful God. So we're going to talk about we're going to have two discussion questions. And just to say for our audience out there, if you would like to respond to the DQs, we would love to hear your thoughts. All you would have to do is email us at bittertobeautiful@gmail.com with your responses. Please use subject line B2B DQ episode 54. Again, B2B DQ episode 54. We look forward to hearing from you. So first question, ladies, have you experienced a shift in a close friendship? How have you handled the change? Again, Lashawna, this is for you. Have you experienced a shift in a close relationship? How have you handled the change?
Oh, that's a good question. I've actually experienced a lot of shifts in the last few years of my life as I was drawing closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
For most of my life, I've always made things about other people.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see, in one particular relationship, we had a falling out because of it, because of me wanting to step back, not wanting to be so active, because I needed time for me. And I felt like I expressed that to the individual, but that was not received. It was not received well. I was called a bad friend, all this stuff, you know? But I didn't get angry because I like to see things from other people's perspective. And I knew that we had come to a point in our relationship where we may need to go our separate ways. We had different viewpoints. We saw things that we felt differently about things. And so I didn't take it personal. I said my piece. She said hers. And we went our separate ways. I wish her well. Always. I even pray for her today, like today.
Oh, that's good. That is really, really good. What about you, Q? Have you experienced a shift in a close relationship, and how did you handle the change?
I have. I can't say in a lot of relationships, but I have maybe three. How I handled it, I want to say I just took a step back and just let the person come to me, because I'm not the type of person to engage with a person that I personally feel like the energy is off. So so I just took a step back, and then once that happened, they usually would come back. And when they do, the relationship wouldn't be the same. But I would also put a guard up to know that maybe certain topics of conversation, or maybe some outings, this person cannot attend because they're just not in the right space. So
that's good. That's good. So basically, you've allowed space between you guys, and that's very important. I know in my relationships, I am consistently praying, because I want to make sure that it's is it me? Do I need to adjust something about me? Is it something that I've said? Is it something that I did? And things happen. Of course, relationships shift based on, like Lashawna said, like she started drawing closer to God, and her relationship shift because of that. There are reasons and, again, seasons why people change. So what I do is I pray for clarity. And I work on focusing on open communication. Like, if we're shifting, I want you to understand that I feel we're shifting, and I pray that you would want to say to me, Charmin, I feel we're shifting. Maybe we need to talk about this, or maybe it's just needs some time to pull away. So I just think it's important to communicate. So the next question is, again, if anyone who's listening, if you want to respond back, you want to provide your response, just send us an email, and we will literally read your question live. We're actually having a Bitter to Beautiful workshop in March, and we're going to be reading back some of the questions and the responses, so some of the responses to the questions, and we would love for you to be engaged. So the second question is, what are some ways you can celebrate your friend's success without comparing yourself to them? So let me answer that question first. I have certain friendships that we are all on different paths. I do know that. And I know with me, I celebrate everybody. I genuinely love when we all are winning. So some ways I can celebrate and not feel like, oh my God, I feel some type of way about, no. I am happy when everybody's winning. I'm happy when everybody's getting what they need and living towards their dreams. I mean, and working towards their dreams and doing what they're called to do and living in purpose. It gives me joy. So I don't, in comparisons, I know, listen, social media, all you do is compare. I don't sit in that space. I'm excited. I'm congratulating. I'm always making sure that they are aware that I'm excited for them. What do you ladies say? What are some ways you can celebrate your friends' success without comparing yourself to them? What do you say, Q? What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I never compare myself to anybody. So
I knew you was going to say that, Q.
Because we're just not in the same lane, you know. We all could be driving on the highway, but I'm in the center. You could be yielding on. That's fine. Just don't hit me. I always celebrate my friends' wins because I'm always happy when someone achieves something or does something new. Like, that's just my personality. I'm never like, oh, well, I did this. Because it's like, who cares? It's not about you. Like, it's about the person. It should always be about the person when they're coming to you with good news. It should never be, oh, well, okay, let's turn it to me. Because that's not fair. First of all, that's very vain. Of the person or of the friend who you're talking to just turn things on you when it's about them. So it should always be about your friends in the moment when they're coming to you with something. It should never be turned like that. I always celebrate my friends. I have no problem with that.
That's good, Q. That's good. What about you, Lashawna? What are some ways you can celebrate your friends' success without comparing yourself to them?
Well, I agree with what both of you said. I like to celebrate. I'm always happy when my friends are winning because I don't hang around losers. It's just you got to be doing something. But also, for me, I like to brag on my friends too. That's one of the things I do. Like, I'll tell you about everybody's win. I love to brag on my friends because I also like to make connections because maybe somebody else might be doing something along that line, you know? You guys could help someone out. What is cringy for me is people who want to compare. When you're giving them your good news or sharing, then they go, well, I remember a time when but this is about me. Or, it could be cringy. So I strive or aim not to be that person in any of my relationships. I love to celebrate my friends. Love it.
That's good. It's very important. And just like Q said, that, one of the things that she focuses on when someone comes and talks about what they're celebrating, she doesn't make it about herself. She makes it about them because it's about them. That's really good. So let's talk about some things. What dislikes can breed bitterness? So let's define this. Bitterness often arises when we don't confront unspoken frustrations or when feelings of jealousy go unchecked. What stands what starts a small irritation can grow into a full-blown resentment if it's not addressed. So we know we're feeling some type of way about somebody, and instead of us addressing it, we let it sit and fester, and it can become bitterness. So we have to be mindful of that. So listen to this scenario. Imagine a friend you've been close to for years suddenly gets a promotion, buys a new home, and enters a new social circle. You start feeling left out or even jealous, but instead of sharing your feelings, you hold on to them. Over time, your frustration grows into bitterness. Now, this is how it looks. Sarcasm when you're talking to or about the person, avoiding the conversations about their successes. You feel distance or defenses for no clear reasons. You're forced insecurities and congratulations, because you're not really congratulating them because you're in your feelings. And then you're comparing yourself to them. So, ladies, what are your thoughts when it comes to this scenario? What do you think? Do you think this is how it looks? You may not say you've experienced this, but do you think this is how it looks when there's someone who's dealing with unchecked jealousy? What do you think? Anyone can chime
in. How it looks. Well, it depends on the friendship. Mm-hmm. First of all, if you don't have a strong foundation in your friendship, you're not ever going to be able to accept each other's wins. Mm-hmm. Does it look? I mean, right? Yeah, it depends on the person because, for example, like if that was Lashawna and she got a promotion and then she bought a house and she went to a different circle of friends or whatever, I would think it as my friend just like she's elevating in life, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And usually what they say is, if you win, I win. So if your blessing is coming now, then I know mine is not too far behind.
Yes.
You understand? And it's like, and if she did go to a new circle of friends, why would I be jealous if our foundation isn't already strong? You know what I'm saying? If anything, she would pull me into the new circle of friends. And, each one teach one. We can all learn something. Like, how did you get that house? Like, how much was your clothing? Like, what did you do to save up for the house? Or like, how did you get that promotion? Like, what do you do? Like, stuff like that. I think when people get jealous or become bitter in a situation like that is because they don't have a strong foundation in their friendship to know that no matter what happens or how the person grows in the friendship, that you're always going to be there. Like it's a foundation thing for me.
Wow, that's really good. That's really good. What about you, Lashawna?
I do agree with what you said. I feel like any unchecked emotion festers and becomes more than it becomes bigger, it grows. Especially if that person that you have this feeling towards does not recognize it, and they're still in their world enjoying and celebrating, right? Oftentimes that can breed a feeling of being forgotten. It can also bring up some unchecked trauma from some past experience. For me, I always address, I don't know. I don't like conflicts. I like to consider myself as being aware, maybe too aware sometimes because I might make some stuff up in my mind. But I do consider myself to be aware. So if I feel like there's some problem brewing, I want to address it because I don't want anyone harboring. I don't want to harbor no feelings for anybody, and I don't want anyone harboring feelings for me. Because like you stated before, those unchecked feelings do grow into something more ugly.
Yes, that's so true. That is so very true. So we need to make sure that we are checking those feelings that are unchecked and if we're feeling some type of way, again, communication is key, especially if you value that friendship. You're going to have a conversation. You should have a conversation and say, this is how I'm feeling. And then let that person, sometimes people mad at you, you don't even know. They're in the feeling of you. You're like, well, where did that come from? I didn't, you're clueless to it sometimes. So it's necessary to have a conversation if you're feeling like that. Talk to them. Like, have a conversation. I'm telling you, have a conversation.
Right, but sometimes every feeling doesn't need to be brought up in a conversation, because some things are just like, some things can blow over. I don't feel like you have to address every little thing. But because if you address every little thing, then now it becomes a problem. Like, are you in this? Are we even friends? Like, why everything I do, you have to nitpick or something like that? So it's like, you don't have to address everything unless you, like, deep down in the pit of your stomach, you feel like something needs to be addressed or like something is wrong. Yeah. But sometimes it could really just be like in your mind. Like Lashawna says, sometimes she be making stuff up. Sometimes. But like, and those things you make up, you know, sometimes the devil.
All right,
I'm just saying, sometimes the devil likes to play tricks with the mind and be like, you know, like the whisper in your ear, like, "Oh, girl, she's trying to shade you," and it's like she's really not. Like, she's not. Like, relax. Don't be so guarded.
So just to answer that point, I think that is why I always feel it necessary to address things, because you know, just so I can either dispel a thing, I might be thinking something that it's not there, or it might really be a thing. So I wouldn't know unless I address it.
Yeah, that's true.
Or check at least check in with you, like, we're good, everything is okay, you know.
You know what? We had a couple of episodes back. We had the episode was "I love you, but I don't like you," and of course, me and Coach Lynette ended up on separate sides. And she did listen. Her reasoning for "I love you, don't like you," you can't say it was right for her. And for me, my feeling is something similar to like what we're discussing now, is because I feel like if God commands me to love you, and it's an agape love, it's sacrificial love. And I don't want to bring up the topic again, but I'm saying it to bring up this point. If it's sacrificial love, then if I'm your friend and I value your friendship, I don't believe that God is going to tell me to love you to that capacity and not like you. May not like something that you've done, but not like you as the person. So my thing too, and it's exactly what you said, Lashawna, and exactly what Hugh, definitely what you said, you both brought it in for me, is that I need to first check with me to see if I'm off. Because sometimes I could be listening, you could be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and listen to things in your head, and you're like, this is why you need the mindset change. So but that was, and one of the things that I said was very important to this is that, okay, everybody doesn't have to feel the way I feel, but I want to make sure that I am self-reflecting and I'm checking in with me and then checking in with God. Because Lord, if you are my friend, I value our friends. I don't ever want us to depart with me not liking you, because I love you. And I think that's real. So I'm saying this to say, and to kind of sum it up, it's important to check in, Lashawna. I think I am a communicator. I like to talk. Let's check in. And if you're not ready to have that conversation, you can say, you know what, I'm not, maybe we shouldn't, not today, because you might be feeling something, or you might not even know why the conversation is coming up. And then the same thing with you, Q. I believe that sometimes some things are not necessary to talk about, depending what they are. So if it's something as simple as you forgot to call me and you were supposed to call me at 10 and you didn't call me, we're not gonna fuss about that constantly. I'm not gonna make that a big thing. Right. I'm not gonna hold it, be begrudging, be resentful about it, and all of a sudden become bitter. No, you just, because you may not have called me because you fell asleep. Whatever. I'm gonna give that opportunity for explanation. But what I'm saying again, if you value your friendship and you're in your feelings, like this is about being in your feelings to the point where you're bitter. So it's not. It couldn't be something as simple as you not calling me. it has to be a little deeper than that. So I think it's worth the conversation. I think it's worth me saying to you, Q, I'm feeling some type of way. You probably didn't mean to say that, what you said, but I'm feeling some type of way. Can you explain, and let's talk about it? What do you ladies think?
This makes me, and I hope it's okay that I bring this up.
No, it's not okay before you even start.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I will respect that. I will respect that.
No, go ahead. Go crazy. I can't stop you. I've learned that over the years.
Oh wow. No, I can.
I love you though. No, just go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine.
You see me shaking my head, right?
I do. I do.
So we can have that conversation offline if we
No,
need to.
It's not. It's not a bad it's about our friendship.
Oh, okay.
Well, where you
Wait, I didn't think it was anything but that. Shonda, what was you thinking?
I don't listen. You don't know, because sometimes you have friends that's been holding on to things, and they be like, all of a sudden it can't.
Now, have we known Lashawna to hold anything in, girl? Before
right. Yes.
You're right. You're so right.
Right. Hello. I'm the one that likes to address it. Let's put it in the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, but this conversation, as we're talking and seeing the dynamics with me and QueKenya, it really brought up for me when we had fell out.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was, I was the one having the feelings. I was the one, and she was none the wiser, right? And at first, I did not wanted to address it, because I also know that she probably would have been like, is it really that serious?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we know me, like you guys said, I can't sit on I can't hold, and I don't want to. Like, who wants to hold all that ugly inside? Not this girl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I always feel like it was important. I mean, we didn't speak for some time, right? Because we disagreed on whatever the details were. However, because you mentioned this before, because of our foundation, because of our personality also, because we know how to get past things. We don't sit there and hold on to things. We were able to come back. But I feel like the key part that happened with that was that the issue was addressed, and it was not addressed once. It was addressed multiple times. I know to QueKenya's dismay, because she was like, "This is so much."
I was like, "We're talking about this again."
Okay, guys, let's bring it back in.
Yes, yeah, but I do definitely feel like on those levels, you might not be feeling something, but the other person may need that, because if it's not addressed or allowing them to get it out completely, again, those things may sit there and they may pretend with you, but that's festering on the inside.
Exactly. You're right. You're so right. Yep. You're so right. So this is what's next. How to unmask and prevent bitterness. The scripture reference is Ephesians 4:31-32 in the NLT version. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander. Be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God, through Christ, has forgiven you. So the overall strategies is set boundaries. Give yourself time to process your feelings without cutting off the relationship entirely. Be honest. Share your feelings with your friends when the timing is right. Clear communications can prevent misunderstandings. Seek God's perspective. I love you, but I don't like you. This is why it's necessary for you to seek God's perspective. Pray for your friends and ask God to help you celebrate their blessings as they can celebrate their blessings as if they were your own. So if they have so much going on and it's amazing, you celebrate it as if you're celebrating for yourself. Practice gratitude. Focus on your own journey and the blessings God has placed in your life. So here's some encouragement. Remember, disliking a situation doesn't mean you're going to stop loving your friend. With grace, truth, and open communications, we can prevent bitterness from taking root. What do you guys think about that? If we follow these steps, it can help us to prevent bitterness from taking root? What do you think?
Um, I have to say I agree to an extent,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, However, in my relationship I mentioned earlier, I believe I tried to establish boundaries that
Mm-hmm.
created bitterness for that person. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I tried to have a conversation that created some more bitterness. So, I mean, I for me it works in that I need that for in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and hope that the person can respect the boundaries that's being drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm now learning definitely to see God on those things. Like God has to be in the center of it, and maybe that's probably what the error was previously. I did not see God out on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I definitely feel like those steps are necessary. I
Mm-hmm.
agree.
What do you think? Do you agree?
I agree. I agree as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
agree
right.
as well.
So here are some practical steps and overall strategies. Celebrate your friends. It's like we said before. Shift your mindset from competition to support. Their successes doesn't diminish your value. Their successes doesn't diminish your value. Take time to reflect. Journaling can help you process your emotions and identify where bitterness might have been formed. By journaling and writing it down, it'll help you see exactly where your bitterness started. It's journaling is really good. Pray for healing. Ask God to replace jealousy or frustration with peace and genuine joy for your friend's success. Remember, you want to be a blessing to them for their blessings, and take those blessings and emulate them as if they were yours. So once you do that, you can kind of get past if you're feeling some type of way, if you're up in your feelings about something. Forgive quickly. Holding on to offense only weighs you down. Everybody's offended these days. Can I just tell y'all? Everybody offended. Unnecessary. Everybody. Okay, let me get off the bit. Okay. Forgiveness is a gift from your heart. It's a gift. And remember, the forgiveness is less about the person that you're forgiving and more about you, because sometimes they don't even know you mad at them. We said that already. We said that already. We do have a practical biblical scenario, which is Paul and Barbarus. I'm saying his name wrong. From Acts 15 to 16, we know at one point they had a close partnership, and they was upset at each other at one point and had to separate. But at the end of the day, they continued to travel together, but they also looked at God's purpose for them. And even with the friendship changing, God gave them opportunities to impact the kingdom in their own ways. At the end of the day, doing what he called them to do. So that's basically the takeaway from the story, is that it teaches us that changing seasons in friendship aren't failures. It didn't mean you fail at your friendship because you've changed. It doesn't mean that. It just means that it gives you an opportunity to grow and redirect. Grow and redirect. I'm going to go over some statistics, and then we're going to go back to the ladies and ask questions. 68% of adults have experienced a major shift in close friendship, often due to life changes and unmet expectations. The psychology note says that unaddressed resentment in friendship can lead to heightened anxiety and depression, while open communication and forgiveness improves your emotional health. The key is that you are forgiving quickly. Listen, God has forgiven us. Figure out a way to forgive. Don't hold on to it. Don't keep it. Just let it go. What do you ladies think?
You have to be more specific on forgiving quickly.
So tell me when there will be an instance that you didn't forgive quickly.
Um,
Hmm.
I mean, it depends. Uh, where I didn't forgive quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't even answer that because it's not about a forgiveness thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's more so like, do I want to dig deep into this scenario, or
Mm-hmm.
am I just going to be like, it's not that serious?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really, I don't really think anything is that serious when it comes down to friendships, unless it has something to do with a scenario that has to be with like family or like boyfriends or like just like disrespect. Other than that, like everything else is like okay. So like the forgiving thing, like it's like what are you forgiving? Like the person didn't like do something so drastic, so you have to forgive them, unless that's what the scenario was. But I mean, if you know the personality of your friend and you know how they are, how they act, how they move, is it really that deep? I mean, like when I think about forgiveness, I think about something like so detrimental, like because you know how they say, oh, girlfriends are so easy to forgive their man and not forgive their friends. But like the smallest things. But I feel like it all depends on the person and how their relationship is with their friends.
So it's a measure. It's based on the type of friendship you're having. Then basically that's what you're saying.
Yeah, it really boils down to that. Because I mean, I don't know. I just don't like the term forgive. Because it's like, what are you really forgiving?
Okay, so you're talking about the term forgiveness is key, but the point is that depending on the relationship, you don't feel it might be even necessary to even get there because it shouldn't have been that deep in the first place, basically.
Yeah,
something like that.
But then again, something that's not deep for me may be
May
like
not be deep for
deep
maybe deep
for
for
the other
somebody
person.
Yeah.
So that plays a role as well.
Okay. All right. What about you, Lashawna?
Now in my life, I understand the value of forgiveness. It's more so for you than the other person, if I'm being honest, right? Again, it goes back to harboring feelings and feelings festering, right? Unforgiveness leads to all types of things, right? But like you said, like if you know, and you also mentioned it, people are being offended all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So if you entertain that spirit of offense, then you really will have to walk through that forgiveness. But if you also know who your friends are, you really necessarily won't take a lot of things to heart. And again, for me, before I even hold anything, I want to address it. If I feel like, whoa, that was left field or something, I want to address that because maybe you didn't realize it, you know? And if you did, I need you to understand I didn't like that. And can we not repeat this again? You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand what you're saying. So basically, forgiveness is definitely key, especially in this day and age, and especially when everybody's so highly offended. The word of God tells us that if there is an offense, you go before you lay your gifts at the altar, you go take it to that person. If the person doesn't hear you, you go bring the elders in. If they don't hear you, then if that's it, then you've done all that you can and you keep it moving, but make sure you forgive it and let go. So friends go through seasons just like life. Sometimes they grow stronger and other times they change. And that's okay. When we recognize and address those changes with honesty and grace, we can prevent bitterness and embrace the beauty evolving from relationships. Thank you so much for joining me today, QueKenya and Lashawna.
Yay.
Yes, it was awesome. Remember, Coach Lynette will be back next week and we will resume our regular podcast format. In the meantime, visit bittertobeautiful.com, subscribe for updates, and leave us reviews. Stay beautiful, stay bold, and stay blessed. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
As we wrap up today's episode, we want to extend our deepest gratitude to you, our listeners. Transitioning from bitter to beautiful isn't just a moment, it's a movement, a continuous journey of transforming pain into power, one heart at a time.
And to all our first-time listeners, welcome to the family. We are a community of souls committed to healing, growth, and transformation. Click on the link in the bio to subscribe to our mailing list and tune in every week. When you subscribe, you'll also receive information about our live pop-up rooms on Clubhouse.
As we embrace life's journey and find the beauty in overcoming bitterness, remember, bitterness isn't beautiful, and your healing is just the beginning of a beautiful new chapter.
Don't forget, new episodes are released every Saturday. Whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or Listen Notes, there is a space for you here to find healing, inspiration, and strength.
Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep embracing the journey, keep healing, and keep transforming. Here's to turning all our bitter experiences into beautiful victories. See you next time.